Hey, welcome to Life After Nursing School. I'm your host, Caroline Dana, aka Nurse Coach Caroline, and I'm here to help you, the new nurse, thrive in your career. As a former nurse recruiter, nurse manager, and now your personal new nurse career coach, I'm obsessed with making sure you don't just survive your first couple of years at the bedside. I want you to absolutely rock them. From the challenges to the triumphs, I'll be right here with you, giving you the real-world advice and support that you need to shine. Whether you're in nursing school getting ready for life after, or you're already out there in nurse life feeling overwhelmed or even questioning your confidence, I've got your back. I'll be sharing tips, tricks, resources, and strategies that are just for you. We'll dive into everything from landing that dream nursing job to slaying imposter syndrome, and most importantly, how to keep that spark alive and stay the vibrant and amazing nurse that you are. So if you're ready to tackle the things nursing school did not cover, like how to build a career, trust yourself, and keep your passion strong, then get comfortable because we are about to dive in and make nurse life the best life. Hey, you're here. I just want to start by thanking you for pressing play on today's episode. If you're listening to this one, I'm guessing you fall into one of these categories. You're either a little bit spiritual, or maybe you're curious about creating your dream reality, or maybe you're a full-on manifestation fan. Whatever brought you here today, I'm glad you're tuning in. If you haven't already, you might want to go back and check out last week's episode 26, how I accidentally manifested my dream nursing career. It's a personal story that shows just how powerful manifestation can be and how it's impacted my life. And before we dive into how you can start manifesting the life that you want, if you have a moment to rate or follow the show, I would be so grateful. At the time of this recording, the show has over 300 followers, but only 14 ratings. So if you're one of those followers, thank you so much. Your feedback would truly mean the world to me. And if you don't mind rating the show, I'd be so grateful. If you're not yet a follower, but have found value in the show, please consider following the show so you never miss an episode. All right, let's dive in. As you know, I am so obsessed with you being in control of your career. No one else, and I don't ever want you to feel like you are a prisoner to the hospital that you work for, or you're at the mercy of an employer. I think I feel so strongly this way because so much of our healthcare is out of our control, but not our career, not our happiness. So I'm going to get a bit woo-woo on you today. Manifesting effectively isn't just about wishing for something. It's about aligning your mindset, energy, and actions toward a clear goal. Whether you're manifesting success as a new grad nurse, launching a business, or calling in a life change, the process is powerful when it's done intentionally. If you listened to episode 26, then you heard my manifestation story, much of which was me manifesting unknowingly. But of course, now I'm obsessed and a true believer. So I want to chat with you on how you can manifest your dream life. This episode is about sharing tangible steps that you can take to get closer to having the best life after nursing school possible. I also want to be clear, I am not a manifestation coach. I'm simply sharing what I've learned along the way and how I've used manifestation to bring meaningful changes into my life. And here's the thing, manifestation isn't about daydreaming your ideal life and then just sitting around waiting for it. It's about taking inspired action that's aligned with your goals and values. Without taking action, it's simply a wish. And a wish is something that we hope for and we don't actively pursue. So manifestation is different. So think of it like this. You can't manifest winning the lottery if you never buy a lottery ticket, right? Okay, so let's start with step one of manifesting. And it might sound obvious, but it's so important and actually a very challenging step. And that is you have to get clear on what you actually want, okay? Now, I know I've thought that I wanted something in the past only to realize later that I didn't want that thing at all. Not really. For example, I used to think I wanted to be a nurse manager. It sounded like the next big step in my career. It's a leadership title. There's more responsibility. It's a chance to lead a team and maybe even make a difference. But once I was in that role, I realized it wasn't truly aligned with me. What I really wanted was to lead in a meaningful way, to make a difference for nurses, and to feel like my work had true impact. And guess what? That's exactly what I get to do now as a new grad career coach and podcast host. So here's the takeaway: we have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we think we want something because that's what society has told us, or because it seems like the next logical step, like getting my master's and becoming a nurse manager. But when we dig deeper, we often discover something else entirely. Let's take becoming a nurse practitioner, for example, okay? If that's on your radar, I encourage you to ask yourself, why do I want to become a nurse practitioner? Is it the pay? Is it the title? Is it the autonomy? Or is it just what everyone else seems to be doing? I can't tell you how many people I've heard say that they've gone to NP school only to realize that it wasn't actually what they truly wanted. They've literally gotten the degree and then they've never practiced in that role. So I want to give you a couple tools to help you figure out what you truly want. So a tool that I actually love is something that Mel Robbins shares and teaches, and it's called the 5 Whys method. And we can use my example of becoming a nurse manager. Okay. So basically you're asking like why 5 times to get to a deeper understanding of what you really want or how you truly feel. So the first why might be, why do I want to become a nurse manager? I might answer, because I want to be a leader, have better hours, make more money. Why do I want that? My answer, because it's a master's level position. I could work banker's hours, be home in the evenings and weekends, and increase my income. Well, why is that important to me? Because I want to climb the management ladder, avoid nights and holidays, and contribute more financially to my husband and my financial goals. Why is that meaningful? Because I want to feel like I've achieved something big, spend more time with my family, and invest on my future. Why do I really want it? Because I don't want to work 12s, weekends, or holidays anymore. I want to grow in my career, but in a way that supports my lifestyle and financial goals. So boom, here, after digging 5 layers deep, I realized it wasn't about the nurse manager title. It was about freedom, growth, and alignment. And I found that just not in the way that I originally imagined. Getting your master's at some point in your nursing career does feel like the next step that you're supposed to take. A lot of times it's what our peers are doing, so we feel like we need to do it, but never once in my answer to any of these why questions did I say that it was because of the role. I didn't say, oh, because I want to be in charge of a unit schedule and unit initiatives and take care of patients on a higher level. Like, that is not one thing that I said. It simply came down to my schedule, making more money, growth. So here is my challenge to you. Try the 5 Whys exercise, especially when it comes to your career goals. The clarity it gives you is the foundation for the next step of manifestation, which is visualization. And when you can visualize what you truly want, you're signaling to the universe and your own subconscious exactly what it is that you're calling in. So this first step might actually be the trickiest because we think we know what we want, but once we really dig deep, tune out the background noise, which is really hard to do, we may find out that what we want is something completely different. After going through the 5 Whys method to gain clarity, I would encourage you to consider journaling to help you expand on the things that you want now that you have identified them. I'm not going to lie, journaling has been somewhat of an inconsistent practice for me over the years, but recently I picked up a journal by Brianna Weist. The prompts are incredible. Honestly, they're exactly what I need to just start a journaling entry. And honestly, the things that come out of you when you journal is kind of wild. Like, why don't I already know these things about myself? Why does it take putting pen to paper to uncover something like how I actually feel or my true desires for my life? But let's pause for a moment and talk about why journaling works, because there's a real power behind the practice. Now, I know journaling might sound like a nice to have or something you'll get around to one day, but if you're serious about self-discovery and calling in a life that feels good, this is where the magic begins. So here's why journaling works so well, especially when you're trying to manifest something new. First, it slows down your thoughts. Our brains are running thousands of thoughts a day. Most of them are completely automatic. Journaling creates a space for you to pause and actually notice what's going on in your inner world. It turns all that mental noise into something that you can understand, and that alone is powerful. Next, it helps you build self-awareness. When you journal regularly, you start to uncover what you truly believe, what you're actually afraid of, and what you deeply want. It's where you get to ask yourself, what's mine and what am I carrying that isn't mine? And that kind of clarity is essential when you're manifesting anything. The third thing about journaling is that it lets you feel your feelings. And that is key to emotional healing and energetic alignment. You can't fake your way into manifesting something big if you're suppressing how you actually feel. When you write freely without judgment, it becomes a safe place to explore grief, anger, doubt, joy, honestly, all of it. The fourth reason behind the effectiveness of journaling is that it helps you recognize patterns. And have you ever looked back on an old journal entry and think, whoa, I've grown so much? Or maybe you see something that keeps repeating, like a limiting belief or a habit that, you know what, you're ready to break. That's the gift of journaling. It helps you connect the dots in your own life. Lastly, it gives your intuition a voice. Some of the biggest aha moments don't come from the outside, but they actually come from within. Journaling creates a space for your inner voice to actually speak up. And trust me, she has some really good advice when you actually give her the chance. And finally, it helps you clarify what you actually want, which is step one in manifesting, right? So, as I've mentioned earlier in this episode, many of us are chasing goals that we think we're supposed to want, or maybe that seems like the logical next step for us. But when we start journaling, honestly, we discover the things that actually light us up. And that's what you want to manifest more of. So, if you've been wanting to connect more deeply with yourself, or if you're trying to call something into your life and it feels like you're hitting a wall, try journaling. Let it be messy. Let it be raw. Let it be unfiltered. Don't worry about writing it right or using correct grammar. Just write what's real. Okay, so that is step one. Let's move on to step two. And step two is visualizing what you want consistently, honestly, every day if possible. This can be daydreaming, which is exactly what I've done in the past. And if we just picture ourselves already having what we want, that is the key to visualization. So try to use vivid detail. What are we wearing? How do we feel? Who are you with? What smells do you smell? What do you see? Visualization meditations, vision boards, and journaling from your future self are great exercises to help you with this step. The most important part of visualization is this. You have to feel the emotion of it. In the last episode, episode 26, I shared how I would drive to work every day, completely immersed in a daydream about my ideal life as a working mom. I imagined waking up before my kids, making a hot cup of coffee, checking a few emails, and then calmly making healthy lunches for my kids' backpacks. I pictured gently waking them up, all while feeling peaceful and fulfilled. I visualized having time during my day while they were at school to get things done around the house. Laundry, cooking, maybe even a little cleaning. Just kidding, not much cleaning. But also, I visualized some time for myself, getting in a workout, meditating, reading, stretching. I could feel how good that version of my life would feel. Organized, calm, balanced. Then I pictured the moment that they would get off the bus in the afternoon. I'd be present, recharged, and ready to give them my full attention, not running on fumes or scrambling to catch up. And here's the thing, those emotions were so vivid because I genuinely wanted that life. I wasn't imagining some fantasy version of someone else's day. I was visualizing my ideal day and how I knew I'd feel if I could build that rhythm into my life. Another tool that's really helped me with visualization is using a vision board. This year, 2025, I made my very first one. And let me tell you, 4 things on it have already come to fruition. My board includes all kinds of images representing things that I wanted to manifest, but the ones that have come true so far are a trip to Ireland, a stand-up desk for my home office, a specific car, and a photo of my business role model, Jenna Kutcher. Now, to be fair, I knew that I was going to Ireland when I made my vision board, but I didn't just want to go. I wanted it to be an epic experience. Finances were pretty tight this year since I'm not making the money that I was making as a nurse manager, and I didn't want the trip to be a financial stressor for my husband or for our family. But here's where it gets a little magical. My mom found an amazing travel agent who booked the entire trip at a super reasonable price. And this part gives me chills. She also received a stock dividend check from some inherited Irish family funds literally at the same time that we were booking, and it covered the cost of the trip. It was just the two of us traveling together, and my mom and me were both total passenger princesses. So I had put the trip on my vision board with the intention of it being smooth, special, and unforgettable. And guess what? It was. We went in March, and we still say to each other almost weekly, I miss Ireland. Now, let's talk about the stand-up desk. Okay, I know this sounds kind of silly, right? A stand-up desk, but it was actually a birthday surprise from my husband. He did know that I wanted one, but he didn't have to actually get it for me because he had already treated me to my plane ticket to Ireland as my birthday gift. But one day at Costco, he happened to come across the exact desk that I wanted and he surprised me with it. Total manifestation moment. And also, I know that my husband totally spoils me. Then came the car. Okay, this one is kind of wild. I had my eye on a specific car, but we didn't really need a new car. Okay. And it was definitely out of our budget. I'm talking about $20,000 more than what we would pay for a car. Still, I put the intention out there and I just let it go. I even made my husband take a photo of me sitting in that car at the dealership for manifestation purposes. And then weird things started happening. People in our daily lives kept buying that exact car and recommending it to us. A few weeks later, we got a notice from the dealership. They're clearing out the 2025 models to make room for the 2026 models, and they are discounting the 2025 models by $20,000. The same amount of money that was over our budget. My vision board had the car in black, but when my husband called about the sale, he mentioned that black cost a bit more money. So I told him, don't worry about the color. I don't really care. Okay. But of course, my husband loves to spoil me, right? What does he do? He surprises me with a black one anyways. So just to make it even better, we were able to sell my old car privately for exactly the price that he wanted. And because this new car is electric, we're now saving about $150 a month in gas. And it all came together in a totally unexpected, amazing way. And all this happened around March and April of this year. Again, I want to acknowledge that I'm also blessed to have a partner that also very much likes to spoil me and take care of me. Okay, another wild manifestation moment in relation to my vision board happened at the end of May. I was on a girls' trip in Montauk, New York, when I got a text from a friend that said, "Oh my God, I just listened to the latest episode of the Gold Digger podcast and Jenna Kutcher is featuring you on her show." Now, for those of you who don't know, Jenna Kutcher is my business idol. And when I got this text, I was literally shaking. I had totally forgotten that I had called into her hotline months ago and pitched my small business. And there it was, featured on her show. And I actually cried, like full on cried. My friends on this girls trip who aren't into business podcasts and have no clue who Jenna Kutcher is thought I was completely crazy and had lost my mind. But for me, it was a powerful, affirming moment. It felt like a sign that I'm in a season of receiving and fully surrendering to what the universe has in store for me. Now, I'll be real with you. There are a few things on my vision board that I haven't manifested yet, and I'm starting to question if they're truly things that I want. For example, I have a baby blue vintage but restored Ford Bronco on my vision board. I know that between this and the new car that I have, it sounds like I'm super into cars and I'm actually not, but there's just something about these vintage Broncos. They are so beautiful and they look so fun. And I picture myself cruising around town with the windows down, feeling completely free. But the thing is that they cost around $200,000. And I very much know if I had $200,000 right now, I can confidently say I would not be spending it on a car, especially a car that's not exactly practical for a mom. Okay. You don't drive it for function. Clearly, you drive these vintage Broncos for the experience. And as much as I love that vision, part of me knows it doesn't totally align with who I am. I'm not super materialistic and I actually crave freedom, meaningful experiences, and a rich life, not necessarily designer bags or flashy cars. So maybe I need to update my vision board to better reflect what I actually value. But that said, vision boards do work, especially when the images on them spark real emotion. That's the key. When you look at something and you feel a genuine emotional connection to it, that's when the magic happens. I made a vision board using images from Pinterest. I placed them on a Canva template and I printed it in colored staples for all of maybe $10. I sized it a bit larger than like the standard letter size paper and posted it right above my laptop so I see it every day. You don't need to complicate it, and Pinterest is free, and you can even use a free version of Canva to make it. So the only cost is literally printing it staples unless you have a really great color printer. And whether everything on the vision board has come true yet or not, it keeps me aligned with what I want and reminds me to stay open to what's possible. All right, let's go to step 3. Step 3 is match the energy. This step is all about aligning your emotions with the version of your life that you want to create. You want to feel the emotions of already having what it is you desire. So the emotions are probably something like peace, confidence, excitement, and gratitude. The idea, according to many manifestation teachers, is this: when your emotions match the vibration of what you want, you become a magnet for it. Now, let's be honest, this one can be really tricky. Matt Cook, a well-known manifestation coach, actually recommends visualizing your life 12 months from now instead of trying to manifest your 10-year dream life. He's not saying to let go of big dreams. He's all for big dreams. But he points out that if your vision feels totally unrealistic or too far off, your brain won't believe it. And if you can't believe it, you cannot align with it emotionally. So instead, focus on what's possible maybe about 1 year from now. That feels doable. And when something feels doable, it's easier to match the energy and to actually tap into those feelings of, yes, that actually could happen or that could be mine. I think this is a great rule of thumb. And honestly, it explains a lot for me. If we go back to that beautiful baby blue vintage Bronco that I put on my vision board, yes, it is so gorgeous. But again, it cost $200,000. And as much as I love the idea of cruising around in it, the truth is I can't fully believe that version of my life right now. I cannot believe a life where I am spending $200,000 on a car, and especially one that's not practical and doesn't align with the season of motherhood that I'm in. It feels a bit far-fetched, which means it's hard for me to feel the emotion of already having it. But the other car that I manifested, that one was practical, more affordable, and totally aligned with my current reality. And I could feel the emotion of already owning that car because deep down, I believed it was possible. So let's just recap the steps as to where we are right now. So step one, get clear on what you want. Okay. You can ask yourself the 5 whys, and then you can even journal to expand off of that. Step two, visualize it daily. Okay. Step three, match the energy, feel the feelings as if it's already yours. And now we're going to move on to step four, which is all about releasing doubt and limiting beliefs. I talk about overcoming limiting beliefs and societal norms in episode 22. So go back and listen to that if you want more information on what overcoming limiting beliefs may look like for you. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or that's not realistic, will act as blocks for whatever it is that you are trying to attract. Again, this is probably what is happening around my vintage blue Bronco example. So to change this framework of our minds, we can replace limiting beliefs with affirmations like, I am capable of creating a life that I love, and I attract aligned opportunities easily. Affirmations help you reprogram your subconscious mind. Our brains are wired to believe whatever we tell it repeatedly. And most of us have been feeding our minds some pretty negative scripts for years. Scripts like, I am not good enough, it will never happen for me, or I'm not ready. But when you start using affirmations, you begin to rewire those thought patterns, literally, okay? Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, your brain can build new pathways based on the thoughts that you choose to focus on. So when you say things like, I am confident in my skills, or I attract aligned opportunities, you're not just talking, you're training your mind to believe it. And here's the thing, manifestation is all about alignment. Affirmations help you match the energy of the thing that you're trying to call in. You want to feel like you already have it, like it's already yours. Because when your energy matches the outcome, that's when the magic happens. Another reason affirmations work, well, they help quiet your inner critic. That voice in your head that second guesses everything, well, affirmations give it something new to focus on, something empowering, grounding, and future forward. They also keep you intentional. Life gets busy, right? But when you start your morning with affirmations or say them out loud before a shift or an interview, you're reminding yourself what really matters. You're anchoring yourself in your truth. And most importantly, affirmations influence action. Because when you believe in what you're saying, you show up differently. You advocate for yourself. You take the leap. You apply for the job. You speak up on the unit. You take action in alignment with what you want, not what you fear. Here are a few affirmations that I love for new nurses and nursing students. I am calm, confident, and capable. I trust the timing of my nursing journey. Every challenge is shaping me into the nurse that I'm meant to be. I am open to unexpected opportunities that align with my values. So if you're manifesting something big right now, maybe a job, a shift in energy, a new level of confidence, try anchoring into affirmations. Repeat them, write them, and feel them. They're not just fluffy words. They are powerful declarations of who you're becoming. Okay, now we're moving on to step 5, and this one is so important. It's take aligned and inspired action. Manifestation isn't magic without movement. There's this common myth that manifestation is all about putting pretty pictures on a vision board and just waiting for them to magically show up in your life. Let me be clear. That's not manifestation. That is wishing. Manifestation is not passive. It requires you to take aligned and inspired action toward the life that you're calling in. In the last episode where I share how I manifested my dream nursing career, I didn't just sit back and wait for it to happen happen, I still had to apply for jobs that aligned with the life that I was visualizing. Here's how it really worked for me. First, I gained clarity on the kind of life that I wanted, what I wanted my day to day to feel like. And even though I didn't know the exact job title, I could picture the rhythm of my workday. I visualized it and felt the emotions that would come with living it out. I also worked on my mindset, letting go of doubt and limiting beliefs. And once I was aligned emotionally and mentally, I started taking action. I began networking, talking to people in different roles, and eventually applied to be a travel nurse recruiter, a role that ended up being the exact match for what I'd been visualizing, even though I hadn't known that title existed when I first started manifesting. What's important to understand is that taking action signals momentum. It tells the universe and yourself that you're serious, you're committed, and often the path unfolds in ways that you couldn't have planned. When I started manifesting my ideal work life, I had no idea the answer would be a remote travel nurse recruiter role. But the way my days looked and felt is exactly what I had envisioned. Okay, we're now moving to step 6, which is to practice gratitude often. Gratitude raises your vibration and helps you stay focused on abundance. And the key is to be grateful as if what you're manifesting is already yours. Gratitude literally shifts your energy and it moves you out of scarcity and out of the mindset that says, I'm not there yet, or I don't have enough, or I'm not enough, and shifts you into a place of abundance. And the truth is, you manifest from a place of abundance. When you feel full, grateful, and aligned, you naturally attract more of that same energy. So let's walk through some powerful ways that you can practice gratitude in a way that actually helps you manifest. All right, so you can do something called gratitude journaling, but add in a manifestation twist. So each day, write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for, but include things that you haven't received yet as if you already have them. So instead of writing, I'm thankful for my morning coffee, instead try, I'm so grateful for the new grad nursing job that aligned perfectly with my values. Or I'm thankful for the peace and confidence that I feel during interviews. When you do this, you're activating the feeling of already having what you want, which is where manifestation really starts to gain momentum. Another gratitude practice can be speaking it out loud. When you speak gratitude, especially for what you're calling in, you're affirming it with your voice and putting that energy into the world. Saying things like, thank you for the growth, the lessons, and the amazing opportunities coming my way. It might feel a little awkward at first, but I promise it's powerful. Another gratitude practice is called gratitude rampage. This is a very interesting one. So a gratitude rampage basically involves setting a timer for 2 minutes and just go off with gratitude. Okay. Say or write down everything you're grateful for without overthinking it. It can be big or small. You can say things like, I'm grateful for my friends, my lungs, my laundry getting folded, my favorite scrub top. Just let it flow. Another gratitude practice is anchor gratitude in a daily habit. So pair gratitude with something that you already do, like brushing your teeth, driving to work, or making your coffee. Use that time to think of a few things that you're grateful for and even repeat an affirmation in your mind. This turns gratitude into a consistent, energetic habit, not just a once in a while moment. Another gratitude practice is giving thanks for what's not here yet. So thank the universe or God or higher power in advance. You can say things like, thank you for the job that's on its way. Thank you for aligned friendships and financial freedom that I'm calling it. This reinforces trust, which is a huge part of manifesting. You're saying, I believe it's already mine. Practicing gratitude before bed can also be very powerful. Take a minute before you fall asleep to reflect on 3 wins from the day, even if it was a hard day, okay? Maybe it's a patient that made you smile, a moment that you stood up for yourself, or just making it through the shift. This helps your brain at the end of the day focus on what's working, and it keeps you in alignment while your subconscious processes overnight. So while I don't exactly do this at bedtime, my husband and I do something similar at dinner with our kids. We go around the table and say, okay, everybody go around and share what is new and good from the day. Usually this is where our kids find something good to share with our family, and they also share something new that happened to them. And it's actually really cute. They have learned that the good thing that they share doesn't have to be something huge or big or groundbreaking. It can be something as simple as, it was sunny outside today, or I ate my whole lunch, or we played tag at recess. And I hope this practice helps shape my kids into a mindset where gratitude and abundance is at the forefront of their thinking. And finally, share your gratitude, okay? You can even send a thank you. This can be a voice memo to a friend, or you can write a note and mail a letter. You can text a friend, but manifesting thrives on high vibe energy, and nothing raises your vibration like expressing genuine appreciation. So if you're currently manifesting something, maybe a job, a shift in mindset, more clarity or confidence, start with gratitude. Let it be part of your routine, your mindset, and your energy. And when you show up from that place, that's when things start to align in a beautiful and unexpected way. Okay, so to review so far, we have step 1, which is to get clear on what you want to manifest. Step 2 is to visualize it every single day. Step 3 is to match the emotion and energy. Step 4, release doubt and limiting beliefs. Step 5, take aligned action. Step 6, practice gratitude. And now this brings us to the last 2 steps in manifestation. Step 7 is trust the timing. Trusting the timing can be hard. We are impatient. We want our dream life now, but we are on the universe's timeline, and we need to recognize that. We need to let go of the how things will play out and the timeline that we think is best for us. Life doesn't work that way. There have been many things in my life that didn't play out the way that I thought they would. And now that it's been years since whatever it is that didn't play out correctly, I can look back and say, oh, thank goodness that didn't work out. Or wow, I'm so happy I was forced to pivot because look what I avoided. So keep showing up, trust the process, and stay open to unexpected paths or opportunities. The last step is to stay consistent and patient. Manifestation is not a one-time wish or quick fix. It's a process. And sometimes the hardest part is sticking with it when it feels like nothing is happening. That's the moment when self-doubt creeps in and you start wondering, is this even real? Here's where I want you to be really mindful of your energy and your vibration. One of the people I've learned a lot from is manifestation coach Matt Cook. Through his podcast interviews and content, he explains that what you're trying to manifest exists on a specific frequency. And because everything is energy, including you, if your energy doesn't match that frequency, it's going to be difficult to attract the thing that you want. I know this sounds a little bit woo, but it actually makes manifestation easier to grasp. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. If you're on the wrong frequency or the wrong channel, you can't hear the music correctly, no matter how badly you want to hear the music, right? But once you adjust the dial and get aligned, it comes through effortlessly. So be mindful of what pulls your energy down. Things like scarcity mindset, the need to control everything, negative self-talk, or habits that are out of alignment with self-love. These lower your frequency and make it harder to receive what you're calling in. Your job is to stay grounded in belief, trust the timing, keep your energy clear and aligned with what you're manifesting. So that wraps up today's episode on manifestation, but let me do a quick recap here. Steps 1 through 8. Step 1, get clear on what you want to manifest. Step 2, visualize it every day. Step 3, match the emotion and energy. Step 4, release doubt and limiting beliefs. Step 5, take aligned action. Step 6, practice gratitude. Step 7, trust the timing. And step 8, stay consistent and patient. Whether I've officially converted you into a manifestation believer or simply got you thinking more intentionally about what you really want your dream career and life to look like, I'm so excited to see where your nursing journey takes you. Let this be your reminder, anything is possible and you are in the driver's seat of your nursing future and your future life. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to follow the show so that you never miss an episode going forward. And if you know another nurse or nursing student who could use a little inspiration, go ahead and send this their way. As always, friend, I've got one hand for me and the other for you. Signing off. Well, that's it for today's episode of Life After Nursing School. I hope you feel more confident and ready to tackle the challenges that come with starting your nursing career. Remember, the first year or 2 might not be easy, but with the right mindset, you can overcome anything. If you found value in today's episode, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a future episode. Also, please consider leaving a review on your favorite podcast platform. It helps so much in reaching other new nurses like you. Thanks for listening, and remember, you've got this. Take care and see you next time.